All right, learning goal today is the student will understand how to solve and graph two-step inequalities. So again, this whole topic we're working on solving inequalities, but specifically today, two-step. All right, so let's look at the first part of this. Okay, so this is combining everything we've done the last 2 days. What would I do first on this one? Add 8. Does adding 8 change the inequality symbol? No, it does not. So now I get 4f is greater than or equal to, what do I get? What's negative 20 plus 8? Negative 12. Okay, now what do I do? Good. And does that flip the inequality? No, because I divided by a positive. So sometimes you're going to do these, and they're going to be exactly like regular two-step equations. Nothing's going to change. Okay, open or close circle?
Wait, it's close. 4, it's 3.
Oh, maybe I could get the right answer. I'm not doing well with my answers today. Thank you. Open or close circle on negative 3? Closed. There we go. So closed, and remember that's because it includes it, because that's what that means. Okay, and if it's going to eat the bigger numbers, do I want to shade to the right or to the left? To the right. Okay, because right here, it's eating numbers bigger than negative 3. Numbers bigger than negative 3 would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are all bigger. Yes?
If it, what I don't understand, if it includes it, then you would make the pool closed. What would the problem look like if it doesn't?
Oh, okay. Let's look at the next one. All right, so first step on the next one is to subtract 20. All right, so this time I get negative 3x is less than negative 12. And then my last step is to, Eric? Divide by negative 3. And so x, and then what do I have to do? Flip your sign. And why am I flipping the sign? I divided by a negative 3, and I get 4. Okay, does this include 4? No, because this is saying x is greater than 4, so it can't be exactly 4. So that's when we put an open circle, and then we want everything greater than that, so we're going to shade to the right. Does that make sense? Okay. All right, so I've put 2 more up here that I think are tricky, because these are pretty basic ones, but the next 2 I want to make sure you understand how to solve those, because they look a little goofy. What do you think I do on the first one? Subtract what?
4.
Good, subtract 4. What drops down? Negative v, good, is greater than or equal to 11. Am I done?
Do you multiply by a negative?
You could multiply both sides by negative 1. Some of you are going, why would you multiply? That always works. That way works. Or you could think that there is a negative 1 here, and the negative 1 is being multiplied with the v, so you can also think what? Divide both sides by a negative 1. Does that make sense? So we're going to divide this side by a negative 1, this side by a negative 1. What has to happen with your sign? Flip it around, and this becomes a negative 11. Okay, so even dividing by that negative 1 is going to flip your sign. All right, what do you think about the next one? Subtract 7. What drops down? Okay, now what? Okay, so here's where you have some options. The negative can go with the x, or the 6 are out front, right? I told you you can go any of those places. Here's what I would do. I would move it to where it's with the 6, because then you can just multiply both sides by negative 6. If you leave it with the x, then what's going to happen? Let's say I left it with the x. It's one more step, because I have to multiply, then I have this, then I have to go in and do this. So I always try to make it easier on myself, and so I just put it with the 6. Now I multiply both sides by negative 6, and these cancel, and I get x. Then I flip my sign, negative 12. Okay, so always look for the easy way to do that. questions on either of those before we go on to the word problems real quick? All right, so let's look at these word problems, and I want you to take a look at them for a minute and see if you can match each one, and then we'll talk about which one. Okay, so I've numbered them, 1, 2, and 3. This first one, 9 plus 5.5 times a number is more than 50. Is that 1, 2, or 3? Isn't it? You think it's 2? Okay, so let's check it. So we have 9 plus, this is 9 plus 5.5 times a number, and it has to be more than 50. This is more than 50, so I agree. Okay, what about the middle one? Yes, 15. You think it's number 3? So a special lunch costs $9. The Egyptology Club, is that how you say it? Egyptology Club can spend at most 50. So this would be 50 is the biggest. So that would work. How many lunch specials can they order if they want to share a dessert? So this is a one-time charge. This is a multiple-time charge. So that would be true. Okay. And then the last one, you've read a 50-page chapter about the early Egyptians at a rate of 5.5 pages per minute. After how many minutes will you have read fewer than 9 pages left? So we have 50 pages total. Each minute we're going to subtract out 5.5. And then we want to have less than 9 pages left to read. So that is correct for this one. Okay? Does that make sense? Nora, are you okay? You're giving me a weird look. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and write one for this one. And then we will be done. See if you can write it yourself.
Is less than or equal to 1203.56.
All right. What do you guys think? Yeah? Are there other ways that we could write T over 2? Jake? 1/2 T. Any other ways we could write that?
0.5.
Could write 0.5 T. Okay, so those are all the exact same things. Okay, any questions on any of that?